Welcome in, everyone, here on Sports Den. I'm Blythe Whaley alongside Mary Rominger, and we had a jam-packed week this past week, and we are pumped to let you know about it.
And we're starting off with a big-time top 10 matchup. Spring Lake Park tries to defeat a top 10 team for the first time this season. A clash between two of Class 5A's powerhouses. 8th ranked Spring Lake Park hosts the undefeated 4th ranked Mahtomedi Zephyrs. We drop in with under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Zephyrs first to find the end zone. Corey Baumert spins out of a tackle and barrels past the goal line. Mahtomedi's lead carries into the second quarter. Running back Baumert gets the call again. Zephyrs own the 14-0 advantage. Panthers near the goal line as the first half clock winds down. It's Kayshawn Green punching in to make it a one-score game. Mahtomedi able to drop one final play before halftime. QB Sam Gary takes a shot deep. Michael Berry on the run. The junior has it and stretches for the late touchdown. Perfect execution. Zephyrs lead 22-7. Third quarter, Baumert gets his third touchdown of the game. A big lead for Mahtomedi. Baumert entered the matchup with 887 yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground. Another Zephyrs TD there. Panthers trailing by 28. SLP trying to rally from behind. Unfortunately, QB Braden Kelso was hurt in this final quarter. There's Jackson Smith diving in for 6. Smith, the 6'2", 190-pound back, pushes through again. Back-to-back TDs to bring SLP within 2 scores, but out of time. Rally falls short. SLP loses 35-32. The Panthers now 3-2 on the season. Baumert did it all for Mahtomedi. Smith, all of the Panthers' offense. Kelso, of course, limited in his production with the injury. Next up, Spring Lake Park will take on Cooper.
Our Centennial Cougars also played, of course, last week. The Trojans traveled to the Cougars' home field, and right away the Trojans get started. This is Heilbrunn soaring this one all the way up, and Milkies, finds the touchdown in those early go-ahead points. This time, handing it off, Heilbrunn gives it up to Omar Madakor, and he is a bulldozer. Finds his way into the end zone, but they await that confirmation to be sure. Referees talking to each other, and it is a touchdown. The Trojans up 14-0 in just the first quarter. But a massive play by the Cougars. We see here that blocked punt. That's Lance Nielsen. And this could be game-changing for the Cougars as we follow along. The Cougars find their way punching it into the end zone. It's Dalen Cummings. A big-time play for the Cougars as they try to find their way back after being down 14. Dalen Cummings did it once, and he does it twice, putting the Cougars now up to finish this game 18-14, a massive come-from-behind victory. You just think of how big that was for the Cougars to have Dalen Cummings back. He was injured, and so his first game back, and they needed him. But a massive play, too, Lance Nielsen, to follow that up, to get things started, to really put the Cougars in the mentality to finish that game on a win. But a big game for them coming up. You see them taking on the Bengals, and that's going to be live here on North Metro TV, so make sure you're checking that one out because it's going to be a great cat clash. But the Trojans, they'll play and take on Maple Grove coming up, but crazy. You know, you see them go up by 14 in that first quarter and not being able to really settle things down and stop the Cougars at the end of it.
It's not over till it's over.
True.
Well, we hit the road now where Blaine takes on Totino Grace. The Bengals come in with a 500 record. Totino Grace 1-3. First quarter, Frig Daniels drops back. Michael Douglas wide open for a walk into the end zone, up 7-0. Later in the quarter, it's Douglas again rushing in for the 6-yard TD. Bengals in full control of this ball game early. Under 9 to go in the second quarter, Daniels hits Tyler Terry for a 21-yard touchdown. 25 seconds left in the half. It's the Daniels-Terry connection again. This time, a 9-yard TD. Blaine up 28-0. Fast forward to the fourth quarter. Douglas takes in the rock for 7 yards. The Eagles would find the end zone with 20 seconds left in regulation, but it's Blaine handling Totino Grace 34-37. Frank Daniels threw 3 touchdown passes, went 17 for 22. Douglas racks up 157 yards to lead the Bengals offense. Terry, a nice day with 2 TDs. And next up for Blaine, it's a big rivalry matchup against Centennial, live on North Metro TV. We'll have more on that. As you see, Centennial 3-1 to start conference play. Blaine 2-2. Spring Lake Park 1-0, and right now Blaine has all of the momentum coming off of 2 huge victories and surprising everyone.
It's exciting to see what momentum can do to teams, for sure.
And it's Blaine, the Centennial matchup, again a big rivalry game. All of the momentum in Blaine's favor. A 7 p.m. live game on North Metro TV. Centennial has that Blaine matchup, as we just talked about. Minnetonka and then Woodbury to close out the season. Spring Lake Park will take on Robbinsdale Cooper before returning home to host Tartan, and that will be a conference clash for Spring Lake Park.
Wow, you know, it's always crazy. You get to this point of fall, you're seeing our teams have a good handle on the season and really having to play those big games. And of course, we're really pumped as we continue to talk about that Bengal Cougar matchup coming up. But we have some other great teams in all of our other sports as we head to the soccer pitch. A really exciting one is our Blaine Bengals. They are looking to clinch that conference title. Can they do it? They need to keep things grooving. Spring Lake Park Panthers come to Blaine. We get to see Spring Lake Park off to the races, though. It's Nagby on the far side, cutting it back to her right foot to slot this one in. But Madison Way is in the way. She is a wall, stopping that one. But Kendall Stadden doing what Kendall Stadden does best, and that's make big plays. You see this? Opening up Avery Soley to come right in, glide this one past the keeper, and put the Bengals up 1-0. Now, in the second half, that's Neen trying to get something past Gorish, but can't quite do so. Gorish had some good stops in this one, but Sutherland puts it up, had to go off the crossbar. Teammate there just about to put it in. That was Torgensen, can't quite do it. The Bengals hang on to clinch that victory, just that 1-0 game. But our gentlemen also played following that for our doubleheader on North Metro TV. This one, you'll see, comes down to set pieces early on. Spring Lake Park's Mide Medic drills that one into the side netting, putting the Panthers up 1-0. The Blaine Bengals, Sharian using his head in more ways than one, as you can see, to tie this game back up. Spring Lake Park has never won in this matchup. Mide Medic, can he put them ahead? He gets them back on. 2 goals in this game so far. Panthers on top. I said they haven't won. Can they do it? Can they hang on? The Bengals, they're up by a goal, but another header. This one from Tomba. And there's this tie, guys. It had to go to overtime. They have those 2 overtime periods. They hang on, but we got to talk to Mide Medic.
Biggest thing I want to ask you is you scored that goal and you came over to our cameras, showed us your shirt. What was on your shirt, man?
I had a Balotelli celebration. And it says, "Why is it always me?" I feel like I'm like the top goal scorer on my team, so it's like I always score, so I had to do a celebration like that. I couldn't get it off. All my teammates around me. It was a great feeling, though.
Yeah, it was impressive. And something for you, being a junior, being that leading goal scorer, do you feel like there's a weight on your shoulders that you got to pull your team out in these big moments?
I feel like not really. I mean, I played with a lot of great players throughout my life, so it's kind of just normal for me to just play with my team, just play as myself, and I don't really feel pressure on myself at all.
So your team hasn't been able to beat this Blaine Bengal team, but to come away with a tie, you guys haven't done that too much either. So to send this into double overtime, are you still proud of your team here today?
I feel like we did really good. There's some stuff we could work on throughout. We can do better on crosses and defending as a team, but it's a great opportunity to come play. We know everybody on this team, and it was a great time.
And as you see, the Blaine Bengals 6-4-1 for the boys. Well, Spring Lake Park 5-4-2, Centennial 5-6-0, and they're trying to look to see if maybe they can take off some of these teams at the top of the conference as we head into sections. Could play a role, but our gentlemen trying to find that way here late in the season. We look at the schedules, that upcoming game against Champlain Park at home, that final home game of the regular season. They'll travel to Park Center after that. The Cougars looking to take on Rogers, their final regular season home game, and Osseo on the road. And Panthers have 3 more games, so they'll be at Armstrong, Anoka, and Mounds View, both at home to finish out that regular season. The ladies, though, cruising on really full throttle. Blaine Bengals leading the conference, you see, and really it's going to come down to if they can just finish and not really hurt themselves. They tied Andover in the head-to-head, but how can they make sure that they do everything they can to keep that winning streak going? But Centennial has been that top team, and you see them drop a little bit this season. But Blaine Bengals, they'll take on Champlain Park for that final home game. Centennial taking on Rogers for their final home game, and the Panthers will take on Anoka. So some things to look forward to from our ladies soccer teams doing quite well this year.
The margin for error is quite small for Blaine with Andover right there trying to take over that top spot in the conference. But next up, we switch things to the court for some high school volleyball action. And it's Coon Rapids hosting Spring Lake Park. The Panthers 3-10 overall, 1-2 in conference play coming into the matchup. To the first set, SLP up 8-6. Addison France on the serve. Cardinals might have thought it was on its way out, but no perfect shot near the end line for the ace. Another tough Panthers serve, but handled well by Coon Rapids. Outside shot has some weight to it. Cardinals get the kill. To set point we go. SLP up 24-20. France hammers it through the solo block on the outside. Beauty of a finish. Panthers take set 1. In set 2, Greta Herzog extends the Panthers' lead to 3 points with the kill from the outside. Ella Geiselhart on the serve late in set 2. It's Chloe Hoffman. Laser kill for Coon Rapids. What a game from Hoffman so far, but what a better game for France. The junior outside hitter standing tall at 6 feet for SLP gets the kill. Panthers take set 2 to the final set, or excuse me, the third set. Coon Rapids trying to fight back and forth battle. Nice attack there for the Cards to try to ignite a rally, but you'll have to hold down France for that, and she refuses to be silenced. In the end, it's Spring Lake Park sweeping Coon Rapids, a straight sets victory, 25-20, 25-17, and to complete the sweep, 25-16. SLP 4-11 as it stands on a 2-game win streak, winner of 3 of their last 4, and 3 of the area teams with a seemingly average conference record to start as the season winds down. Centennial, though, as high up as the area's teams go, 14-3 overall, and 3-2. Blaine and SLP at 500 for their conference action. Next up for Blaine, it's St. Francis, a 7 p.m. matchup tomorrow night on Tuesday. Then for Centennial, it's Cambridge Asante, another 7 p.m. matchup tomorrow. Spring Lake Park hosts Armstrong, returns home for another 7 p.m. prime time slots.
Yeah, it's exciting. Again, you see those teams wrapping up their seasons, just not too much left, and really just wanting to hit that stride. I think our teams are looking for that stride. But also on our show, we have tennis, and our ladies, the Cougars, have been doing well. We've seen them trying to get over that 500 mark, but they have been cruising as they get ready for sections this week. But you get to see Brooke Ellenson and Natalie Leet for Spring Lake Park. They get up to an early lead here in the first set. They're up 3-1, but now the Cougars, they try to claw back. You're gonna see them tie this back up to 4 games apiece, and this is crucial. You get to see Lammers talking to them, trying to help them clinch this first set. You see the set point slotted. Ellie Fenstermacher at the net puts it down to give them the victory 6-4 in that first set. But now Spring Lake Park, they're up to a good start in this second set, except the Cougars found their way to knot it back up at 2. Now they knotted it back up at 4, and you see what has been happening. We saw it happen in that first set. We're seeing similar tendencies in this second set, but what's interesting is the Panthers, they hung on. They kept this one going. You have to win by 2, and the match point there puts it to a 7-5 victory for the Cougars.
Alongside me, and we have Ellie Fenstermacher, and we're so glad that you guys are with us. But first off, getting this victory in 2 sets, how thankful are you that that got done so quickly?
I'm really happy. Third set would have been tiring, so I don't know. I was excited.
Yeah, and when you guys are going up against a team, they get up by a couple games early. How are you guys able to stay positive?
We just keep telling ourselves that we can do better, and we're just encouraging each other rather than ourselves. Just keep telling each other.
And Anna, you're a senior, so what has this program meant to you? What is playing tennis?
Yeah, it's meant a lot. I've played like from JV to varsity, so I used to play singles. This is my first year with my partner Ellie here, playing doubles at second doubles, so that's been really, really fun.
Did the temperature affect you guys at all? We dipped into the 50s today, so I was a little bit chilly, but out there on the courts, how did it feel?
I mean, it was pretty good. The wind was a little chilly, but I think the cold actually helped us over the heat.
What do you think was maybe the hardest part playing up against this Panther team? What did you think helped you guys get the victory today?
I think just keep staying positive and getting aggressive and getting 2 up to the net.
Yeah, and communicating. I think when we communicated and were aggressive, we played really well.
Well, congrats, ladies. Fun to see you get the victory over the Panthers, but good luck as you head into sections next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll Cougs.
Yeah.
Before we go, a quick mention to longtime Spring Lake Park boys basketball coach Grant Guzzi. The Minnesota Basketball Coaches Association announced this year's Hall of Fame inductees, and he's on the list. A historic career with SLP, specifically the extensive success that he brought to the Spring Lake Park section.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, you think about getting to see him over the years that I've worked here. It's been awesome to see Grant Guzzi and just the relationship that he's formed with his athletes. You see just him going out there and having even former athletes coming back, wanting to see him coach, coming back to support his team. And it's really neat when you see that foster of a culture, what he's built there for the Panthers. But 30 years, from 1992 to just retiring here recently, he got to have that really extensive, as you mentioned, career, and the Panthers really grateful, and there's a lot of reasons why. You got a turnaround from before they weren't winning a whole lot, and then he hits his stride. He's a part of the 400 win club, so of course Grant Guzzi is really liked around that Spring Lake Park team. But Mary,
congratulations.
Yep,
that's
we're excited
awesome.
for him. But enjoy retirement. I know you had to talk to us about your retirement, so I'm sure you're having fun, Grant Guzzi, if you're watching.
Beautiful.
But you guys, we are so glad you joined us here on Sports Den for another week of all the highlights. You'll be able to find it next week as we start to wrap up these fall sports before we hit into our playoffs in that section tournament for a lot of our teams. So make sure you're tuning in to find all of that. But on behalf of Mary Rominger and our director, Ted LaRue, I'm Blythe Whaley saying goodbye from Sports Den until next week. Have a good week, guys.